Hello, so I'm just doing a quick video on how I'm getting my pipes out because they are rusted, and you can see in here, move that out of the way. So one of them was rusted and that's where it started leaking from. The other one's pretty bad anyway, and you can see on the other one that the inside is all full of crud. So I'm replacing these two pipes where they said you couldn't, you have to take out the dashboard. So I don't really want to take out the dashboard because I've got air conditioning. So you can see the heater matrix there. I took these clips off, and the pipes weren't moving, so I've had to take out. So the blower here, I've moved it down and out the way. There's 4 bolts. They look kind of like this, and then there's this part which is up the top here, goes up here, and that holds the top part of the heater on. Once that's moved, you can't move it out the way because of this big air box on the side. Let me show you the air box. You can't really see it. Anyway, it's this part here. So it's this part here. It's like a big air box part that goes into that hole at the back. Okay, you can't move it to the right because there are all of these, you've got the BCU and a couple of other kind of computery things. So down inside you have the BCU, which is just kind of flapping around, and it has a plug that goes in that center. Move it for you, yeah. Okay, that center one there. The BCU is a plasticky bit that goes in there, and generally it was flapping around. I don't know why. It's probably missing a bolt, or yeah, it looks like there's a couple of holes at the front. Probably should have had a bolt in, but it didn't. And then at the back, sorry, the focus is not great. So at the back there, you've got 2 nuts that were on it, and they look like this. So I took those out. Sorry, it's been a day. Okay, so the BCU and those things came out of this side. I was then able to move the heater blower to the right. A lot of fiddling and fettling, but I didn't yank it. I just kind of wiggled it backwards and forwards. And then I found those clips behind. Now you can see the screws. Sorry about my dog. You can see the screws there. So the ones that are, so I took off this one expecting it to be able to come out. It didn't. You've got one there, which you can see, and it looked like that about 5 minutes ago. You've got one there, and one there. And they're only done from the other side, and that's why they say you have to take out the whole dashboard. As I said, I've got air conditioning. I'm not going to do that. So I've ground this off till it was flat, then I've drilled through it. And at some point I'm going to work out another solution for fixing this in. Some people I've seen just run a regular rubber tube, cut this out and push the tube through there. I already spent €100 on the new aluminium pipes, so I'm going to try and do it as standard as possible. I don't know if you can see in there the top one. I have got the top one off, but it's not coming out. It needs to all come out now. So what I'm doing now is I'm bending this one back. I did use a pry bar, and that's bent that. I don't care about that. I'm replacing these 2 anyway. So I'm just going to try and lever this out, bend this out, and at some point I'll probably tap it or something like that and push this back in so that these don't move around. And then end up with a hole in them, etc. So sorry, I'm being attacked by my dog. Hello. And the pipe is out. So there's one out, and actually I was trying to grab it with pliers and trying to lever it, but actually it bent really easily. I just grabbed my fingers around the edge here and pulled it, and you can see it's quite bendy. So it was quite easy to pull off in the end. Getting the pipe out was a little bit tricky, just kind of wiggling gently. I caught most of the Most of it splashed me a little bit, and you can see there's some really nasty crud inside. So I'd love to replace the heater core. I don't know how easy that is from where we are now. People say that you can bend the dash out of the way and pull it out and everything. So I don't know. I'll see how I get on. But anyway, that's the first one out. Second one is loose. So in theory, I should just be able to give it a bit of a wiggle. Not the other end, maybe. Pull that out a little bit more. It's actually the place where it's really stuck is actually just, yeah, there. So it was like it's glued in to this, well, not glued, but you know, after a certain amount of time. There we go. Let's get rid of that on the tissue. Oops, wasn't expecting that much. Okay, oops, sorry about that. Okay, let's get a bit more roll. Get that off. Okay, well, I'm really not good at filming these videos. I've never done a car video before, so. And then the other end should just wiggle out. Sorry, I'm really not good at car videos. Okay, cool. So this is the one that wasn't too bad. That's out. Where's the little rubber? It must have been stuck. It must be stuck in the other end. And then this is the one that was really bad. Where are we? There. So you can see this is all just gone. These are aluminium pipes. So I guess after that one's got the rubber on. So after a while, I guess, how old is this car now? 1998. So yeah, it's 27 years old. I guess eventually the aluminium does rust. The idea of having a screw that you can only get to from the other side, there is absolutely no reason why they couldn't have put it on this side. No reason whatsoever. I guess when they were putting everything together, it was easier to do it from the other side, but that seems like absolutely insane engineering. I said it wasn't glued in, but actually there's a lot of glue. There's a lot of glue stuff here, like a tar, epoxy. Honestly, it looks like it's been glued in because you can sort of see there it's been, they've obviously had some hot tar or something like that, and as it's been put into the bracket, they just kind of I guess it's to stop it rubbing on the bracket or whatever, but anyway, cool. Okay, sorry, we're back out here amongst my multitude of tools. Okay, so I pulled it out, and let me just show you. So, oopsie daisy. Okay, so in here, behind all of this is where it was sat. Okay, behind these two pipes. I wish I could turn the light on the camera, but you think that would be easy, but it's not. Okay. So it was literally just sat behind these two pipes, and it's got like a kind of a glue. I've lost the piece already, which makes it kind of difficult to understand what it is. Look at that, I'm working in such a mess here. I dropped the piece to talk to you about it, about the look. There it is. Okay, sorry. Okay, so it's got a bunch of like tar and glue on it and stuff like that. So I guess that's how they all put it together. Thanks, Rocky. This is the one from down here. So it's a similar kind of thing. Okay. Really just a threaded screw from the back end. It does need some sort of, sorry about the camera work, it does need, you can see they do move a little bit. So they're up, they go through the bulkhead rubber here. This is a big rubber. And on the other end, you've got the connectors, the rubber tube. So there is some movement there. There's a bit of movement here. That will go when I screw on the clamp on this end, but there definitely needs to be a clamp at this end. These are only aluminium pipes. It wouldn't take much for them to wear away and end up with a hole in them or something like that, rubbing on something. So this needs to be bent back and it needs to be fixed. In theory, I could put a screw, I could drill through the bulkhead and put a great big self-tapper and bolt it all down to the bulkhead. But actually what I think I might do, lost the piece again. What I think I might do is actually just maybe weld on a nut, a captive nut, and then screw it from this side. It's got quite a big hole in it there, so it's not going to take a self-tapping screw. It's too big for that, but something like that, just to hold it on. And then these, so this, all right, so this plate here is what will hold them still, and that's just fixed from there and there. There was a nut on this which I took off after the heater was loose, so I don't actually know. I guess this is just a mount for the rest of this box here. You'll see that I also have lost all my foam here through age. I need to put something back in there as well. But yeah, so that's it. This, I need to have some sort of fixing in here, put it back behind these two, and then bolt this to there. The pipes are not ideally located. They seem to be a little bit too far this way, but they should probably slide there when I clamp everything down. So I don't want to put too much pressure on these, because let me tell you, these were horrible to put in. The bottom one was quite easy. That one up there on the top pipe was an absolute horror to put in and took me ages. But patience, and half an hour I think I managed to get it done. And the way I got it done in the end was, you'll see that I've replaced the tiny bolt that they give you, which is, I know what it is because they've got a spare one here. And the reason I've got a spare one is because I binned this one and I went into my toolbox and I found one that was a lot longer. Yeah, probably can't see. Yeah, you can just about see it. It's a lot longer. And the idea is that as I was clamping it together, it kept moving around as I was trying to put the tiny screw in. So instead what I did is I put a large screw in right when it was very far apart. And then as I screwed it together, I was able to hold the pipes together and get it in the right location. I have heated the engine up once. I've also flushed through the pipes and the heater matrix, and all the crud and dirt came out. I've heated the car up and it didn't leak. So as long as I can keep it from not leaking while I fix those pipes on that end, we'll be okay. So this is the part from behind the two pipes. That's the screw that I ground off with the grinder, and you can see it's just a simple Phillips machine screw. And initially I thought it might just be a piece that I thought it was attached to the bulkhead, but in fact it isn't. I've cleaned it up a little bit. It's got some nasty tar or some kind of resin glue or something like that. Sorry about the dogs again. There's rabbits outside. So I've cleaned it up a little bit. I'm going to heat it up now, and the idea is, I think, now I was looking what I have. So I have these little things here, you know, where you put self-tappers in them. Oh, I have a nice one. I have a nice one in my hand. I was going to show you. There we go. So I was thinking about putting that like on the back end of it. Let me see here. So I was going to do like that kind of thing, you know, like just put it in there, glue it in there, tape it in there, whatever, because it will get pulled by the screw. But I'm gonna give it a go as to do something a little bit more kind of engineering-ish instead of a bodge. It's still a bodge, but maybe less of a bodge. So I don't have a welder. My I had one of those little mini gas welders, and it's run out. So they're really expensive to refill, and they leak, so they don't last more than a couple of months. So honestly, I might just braze it in there with a blowtorch and see if I can get that to stick. It really only has to be captive to hold it in while I screw it in. So cool. Okay, well, here we go. I've brazed on a nut, and then as I was unscrewing it, because I was using this to hold it in place, it's either brazed in to the nut, or I thought it was the flux. I was using some like solid flux, and I thought the flux had got stuck, so I heated it up a tiny bit. I only heated it up with a crappy little blowtorch, this thing, and to actually get it brazed, I used this one and this one together because I couldn't get enough heat on it, and eventually it did. But now I should flip it over so you can see. Hang on. I dropped it on the floor. Still a bit warm. Yeah, anyway, so that's a nice result. Looks pretty. Shame about the bolt stuck in the middle. But anyway, I'll drill that out now. I'm guessing it's quite soft, otherwise it wouldn't have twisted off with a pair of pliers. So maybe the heat did something. Maybe I'm using a cheap, maybe in my box was just a cheap bolt. Maybe it's some kind of alloy or something, I don't know. But anyway, I'll drill that out, tap it, and then see how we go. I should really get a little tripod. It'd be a lot easier to show you stuff. Anyway, I was just, I was going to drill it out. I started drilling, and my battery ran out on the drill because I forgot to charge it. So it's been a great evening. Anyway, so I thought, you know what? There's a little nubbin on the other side, and you know what? I grabbed it with the. Oh, I'm doing that the wrong way because I'm looking in the camera. And I grabbed it with the mole grips, tiny little mole grips, and the damn thing came out. So I think it was flux. There was some flux on the threads, and that's why it wasn't coming out. So anyway, that was pretty lucky. That was pretty good. So now I have my brazed nut on the back. I'll find a new bolt, clean it up, and let's have a look at putting it back together. It's getting dark though, so I might reassess tomorrow, but we'll see. Well, not wishing to be defeated, I've got a big light. Okay, so I've just realized that the screw I have to go through, I put a little bit of copper slip on it, copper grease, and just about squeezing it back together, pressing it with the back end of a hammer, a wooden hammer, just to try and get it in alignment, and the hole doesn't fit this screw, which is a bit annoying. So I've got my widest, shortest drill bit. This is just a hole expander thingy, because I'm really worried about getting anywhere close to those pipes. So I'm just going to expand it a tiny bit, enough to get the thing through, without damaging any pipe or anything. So that's why I'm going with this one. It'll keep it from flapping around, and hopefully we'll be okay. Okay, so here we are 2 days later. because it's been a nightmare. It took me, I should have left it in there. I did eventually get this in. I got this screw in there, but it's too long, and it butted against the firewall bulkhead, and didn't close up. So I took it out, hoping it would have squished this in a little bit with the movement, but it hadn't. So this is out. This is going to go in. This is a smaller one, and at the moment now, what happened is I started moving these around to get them in line, and I saw a couple of drips from there. So potentially disaster. I'm a little bit... Well, it's really loosened itself off. I tightened that up, so I wonder if maybe the screw threads are not great, or... That's weird. Weird why it's loose now. Oh no! No, sorry, my brain's going. I just loosened it off a little bit, and then I realized I should get some tin foil. I've seen somebody do this trick with tin foil, and they capture all the water at the bottom and everything, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to loosen it a little bit off, empty it out, because I think while I'm moving this end, this should be free to spin in the joint, to make sure that when I do eventually have that end tight, I can then tighten this end and it will be happily not under stress. Okay, so normally in the videos there's been dogs barking, and now I have somebody chewing on my knees. Oh, and another one there. So the big dog is gone. I don't know where he is. On the other side. So anyway, right, I'm going to crack on. So the idea is I'm going to loosen off that, maybe the top one as well. You can just see in there, and then try and get that bolt in. And I'm not kidding you, getting that in took well over an hour. I'll say well over an hour. Lots of frustration. Eventually I got it in, but realized it was too long, and then yeah, I gave up. Now it's daylight. It's actually quite useful, because I think when the plate is in at the back, I can see the hole a bit better. I'd have tried putting it in for 5 minutes at the moment. It didn't go in, so that's why we're loosening off all this. And you can see the braze has still held, which is okay after all the faffing. And it is very, very difficult to get in. I mean, at this point, it's probably easier to take out the whole dash, but I've got air conditioning and I can't do that at home, so we are where we are. We've not had any leaks so far, and I've got the bolt in, which is quite the minor miracle. What I actually did is the clamp, which is on the back like this, I put it that way round, screwed it in a couple of threads, and then tried to flip it around, and I had to really pull on this pipe, get it really close to this clamp, and it wouldn't go. So I undid it, and I was going to undo it completely and start again, and then it was coming out quite a way, and I was like, oh, maybe I did more than just a few threads. And actually then I thought, well, I'll try it again. So and it popped behind, so it's right there now. I can feel it there. It's going across both pipes. Both pipes are being held. It's not tight. I might back it off just a tiny bit more so that it's very, very loose. And I'm going to get some black sealant. I've got some silicone type stuff, which I used for a sump gasket. I think it's Citroen. They don't actually have the gasket. They just have the silicone stuff. So it's quite a tough. It's quite a tough black silicone, which will look fairly original in terms of the all the black tar that was splattered over everything originally, just to sort of, I guess, just to make sure there's no vibration, or to make sure there's like something between these surfaces, and make sure it doesn't rub through the aluminium. So that's what I'm going to put on next. I'm going to kind of squeeze it all in here, squeeze it all around here. It's probably going to look really messy and disgusting, but at least it'll be in. And then at that point, I'll then tighten up these, and we'll see how we go. I might start up the engine again, pressurize the system, and see how we go. Okay, so it's in. I squirted it down inside the joint and then tightened it up so it's come out the sides, you can see. The pipes are really solid now. So really, really solid. They were kind of flapping around a little bit before, so that's great. They're connected to the engine, so I suppose it's really important that they don't flex down to this joint down here. I put some clean tissue here, so I'll be able to check and see if it's at all damp or wet after I've started the engine. I've put the to make it start, I've put the BCU and others, whatever they are, in connected again. They'll have to come out again, or when I put in, I don't even know where it is. Where is it? Oh, yeah, there it is. So when I put back in the blower, That's all got to go in, mounted underneath again. So they'll need to come out because they need to move out of the way completely so I can slide it up and along. Otherwise I can't get that part in for the vent. I'm going to see if I have some sticky foam to go around the joint. You can see they all have some kind of foam, but as with age it's all worn out. This one looks quite new, and what's weird is I've seen these with like completely covered with foam. Is it this that goes over it? Yeah, that covers it up actually. Let's go back a bit. This goes on there and actually covers it goes around it. So I don't know what covers that up, but I've seen other people when they're taking these apart in other videos, and this is covered in foam, so I don't know why mine's not. Maybe it's not original, maybe it's from a different year, I don't know. Anyway, okay, super. Let's start it up, heat it up, make sure we don't get any leaks from there, and we'll see what happens. Don't mind the dogs. There's another one. Okay, let's see here. Right, so pipes are in, engine heated up. You know what, it didn't heat up as much as normal, but I guess now the actual heater matrix is working. I've got my new pipes in. That little one there, it was quite difficult to get off down here, and there's actually nothing wrong with the hose, and even though I bought a new one, I didn't put it on. It was just too much fap. I couldn't reach that one down there very well. It was really annoying. So I'll keep it in the boot. I'll keep it in the back of the car for spares, as is the Land Rover way. Okay, so that new one's on, goes across to there. Sorry, there. The focus is going weird. And yes, I do have a leak from the rocker cover. Okay, so now it's time to put this back in. I've taken out the BCU. Well, actually, the BCU is the only one I didn't unplug. But where is everything? Here. You know when I watch people on YouTube and I think, oh my God, what are you doing? That's not the way you would do it. And then I just imagine what you guys are thinking about my, about my mess down here. Anyway, this is off. You can see how it goes in. I think I've covered that already when I recorded the other day. By the way, if anybody is doing this, if anybody does this same thing, take this off. This has cut my hand and my arm so much, flapping around. And all because I didn't have a pair of wire cutters, which are now there, but I never got around to actually taking it off. You know, I don't actually know what it is. Oh, you know, I know what it is. It's an antenna. And that may even be my antenna that I put in. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the CB one, which I don't use anymore. Where does it go to here? It goes up there somewhere. Oh, no. I think this is a genuine actual antenna for the radio. But yeah, I was worried. I thought it was a bonnet pull or something, and I thought that's going to be knackered. Anyway, take this off. The sharp edges and everything, when you're reaching in there and climbing in and out of the glove box, it's a real pain. So, all the space is now clear. We can now put the blower motor in and put it up into there. Okay, so excuse me, please, excuse me. Watch out, darling. Okay, thank you. So, get off my trousers. Get off my trousers. Never mind. Okay, I've lost my trousers. I have this stuff which I use for the front door. It's almost identical. A nice foam. You know, like that. I'm gonna get a tripod. Very similar. A little bit bigger, I think, than the original. Right, so not by much though. Probably by thickness, I would imagine. But this squishes right down. This squishes down to nothing. So I might clean all this up, glue this on, bung it in, and then at least I've made a bit of an effort about about repairing what was there. So this is just, I got it for the front door. Apparently it keeps out spiders. I mean, I'm sure all of this could really do with new stuff on it, but I don't have that time or inclination. So I'm going to clean all of this off. I'll clean it with a bit of acetone so that the glue sticks on my new stuff. And actually I'm quite glad I have a lot of this, because I think I'll use it on the I'm going to use it on here as well. I'll put some in there. Maybe that one, I don't know. Does that? Sorry, I'm gonna stand on the dog. This doesn't have one, so that doesn't have any foam. But these ones do, so I'll definitely bring it on there, because the heating at the back of this is absolute crap. So that might help a little bit to direct it down to the back. Okay, cool. Let's see what happens. So, not the best job. I couldn't even be bothered to go and get my scissors, to be honest. so it's all hand done. I found this part as well, that this one needed some, so that's good. I don't know where it goes, but anyway, I'm sure it'll keep the heat out in the summer, or keep the heat in the winter. I don't know. I don't even know where it goes. This is interesting. This is some kind of sensor, I guess, the heat sensor. I don't know if I should clean these, or the heater was absolute crap when I had it in the car before, so I don't know if I can make a bit of difference. I did put this, I rolled this over. Where is my camera? There. So I rolled this over here because it's a little bit wider. I used the width to go over the edge rather than back that way, because I know it has to get put into the little tube inside the car. I was hoping that it would like kind of catch like that way, rather than just getting pushed straight off, but whatever. It's better than nothing, and that's what I had before. There was no foam on it at all, so whatever works is good. So okay, I'm going to start putting it in. So in the interest of the beginning of the video, which I missed, that was taking it all apart. That one down there, that one needs to go on now. I've finally managed to get this is about a 10-minute faff trying to get the motor in, so you can see us scrape the hell out of it on this metal, on the other side of this metal. You really have to kind of yank this a bit, just to give it that few more millimeters to be able to then twist it in. It's a lot of faff. You need a lot of patience, which I don't really have, actually. I'm surprised I'm not going mental. So one of these looking things is going to go on down there now, and then I can slide this up into that hole. I just checked now, and this blocks up that, so I can't get to it. So here we go. I'll put that nut on, and then I'll move the motor in. Okay, I thought it was that one. So I thought it was, oh, look at that. I thought it was this one with a washer, but as it turns out, I think it's I think it's one of these. You can tell on the where the old nut was that there's a big line around it, so I'll check. So I was just checking. You see, it's not that one that goes with, it's not that washer that goes with the nut. It is, sorry, zooming out. It is one of these. It's got like a captive washer on it. Okay, that's what goes on next. Okay, so that's in. Now the motor gets pushed into that hole. Okay, the fan motor is in. So a little bit tricky, but that one's over the mounting, that one's over the mounting, and it's pushed in that tube there. There's a lot of foam sticking out, but that's okay. The other piece of foam was actually right up top there. You can see between the top of the bulkhead and the top of the motor, which is great, because actually that one almost didn't exist. So hopefully that should be a lot better. So now I'm going to put in, I think I'll put this one back in because this is what came out next. And then I'm going to start putting in all of the things around the motor. So we've got some electrical thing there. These parts here, these mount onto the side of the motor up there. There's some sort of I can't remember where they are. They're around here somewhere. Yeah, this is these are them here. So they go in there. There's two. There's excuse the dogs. And then and then you've got the motor power here. The support, where is that now? Here. The support for the dashboard that goes in there and up there somewhere. The bracket for there, which goes over there. Interestingly enough, the screw wasn't in properly. It was kind of half out. Like it wasn't in the right hole, it wasn't in the hole properly, which is kind of weird. You never know, that could be from factory, you never know. But I'm going to have a really good look around to make sure I don't miss little plugs and things like that. No idea where that went. I mean, this, stop biting him, stop biting him. Sorry. Whoa. What? What's the problem? What's the problem? They just they're biting each other. There you go. Enough. Thank you. Okay. Right. So. Oh, and then the big bracket goes from there. That one. This really annoying one. So that goes from up there and it goes down onto there, those two, that one and that one. Yeah, I think we're getting there. Not too much to go in, really. So I tidied up all my tools. You wouldn't think so, but I tidied up all my tools so I could see what nuts and bolts I had left because I didn't want to make a mistake. And I saw everything and I thought, oh, that seems fine. So I've started bolting that in. So that one there, that bolt's in there. This is quite a long one up there. And you can see it also gets caught on the bottom of that bracket. But it's fine. It's a huge bolt. It's not going to rattle out. And it's caught a bit of that. So it's bent it in. It's also, when you take that one out, it's a real pain, because you can't get, the washer is attached to the bolt and it won't let the bolt come out because the washer is caught underneath that lip. So for the next time somebody takes that off, they'll be thankful that it doesn't get caught underneath that. But it's very tight, so I'm not worried about that. That goes through a little hole there, that holds on there, that bracket of those connectors. What else did I put on so far? That's not tightened yet. That one goes in the bottom there. There's another one. Yeah, another one goes in there. And then I put that on. And then I found that. So this also has to go on, but it goes on. Oops. But it goes on up there between the two pipes. So I'll take this off. And I'll put that on. Just looking at it now, it's a very simple mount. That's plastic. The screw hole is plastic. So this one just gets screwed in there, holds the pipes in place, and it'll be one of those. I don't know, I can't remember. Yes, I've done everything backwards. I remember where these go. These ones, not sure. This one, maybe. This one, Oh, there's 3, look. That must be something big. Oh, I know. That's for that. Cool. Yeah, okay, now I start to remember where everything is. And these ones, I think, for the bracket as well. Okay, we're getting there. I'll put this on. Okay, progress. This one is a little self-tapper. The bracket went in, it was a self-tapper. There were 2 identical screws, this one and that one over there. This one went back in, it has like a black self-tapper that goes into the plastic. These were a bit of a pain because I couldn't remember how to put them on, and I thought they were going on this one. So I was trying to work out how to make it work to go on this one, and nothing goes on this one yet. I don't know yet, but anyway, they go at the back there, so they're on. Okay, this one was confusing me. Green into yellow, which is not helpful, but this one is right here. It couldn't really get it to go anywhere else. I've been looking around here, all around the place for where this plugs into, and I just found this part of the loom, which matches perfectly because they're both a bit burned. Sadly, don't know what that. It's quite a lot of power going through this one. But anyway, that's what matches up with that one up there. That one is tight. Sorry, I'm on one hand here. That one is tight. This one, I noticed it's got a bubble on the back, so I think this goes into a metal hole somewhere, but that's probably one of these. Probably one of these, but we'll see. What's next? Oh, so next task is no, this first. So next one is this. So I've got the little bolts. I think they're these ones. So these. And possibly these, not sure, I'll check. And then it's on to the support. I love how my camera work is awful. So yeah, so then that goes on, still awful. Then the support goes on. I don't know what goes up there. Oh look, I can see with the camera. Ah, okay. Oh, that'll be that one. I've got 2 of those. Why have I got 2 of those? Is there 2 holes? There's 2 holes. Okay. Odd that it uses such massive washers. Do they both fit in? I would be very surprised. It does. Not pretty. Makes me wonder if I was supposed to have used those ones. But I would be very surprised if that massive bolt was just for that tiny bracket. So anyway, there's a lesson learned. Take some pictures beforehand. Maybe even make a video before you take it to pieces, but whatever. Okay, I was wrong. It was those bolts. They are stupidly long, but I could tell it was those ones because of the marks on the plastic, and also most of it was covered in dust at the back end. So and then the smaller ones which I had there are now up there, which seems a lot nicer. They're all exactly the same thread, they just have a different size head. That one should have a washer, but either the dog ate it or I lost it. I did have a lot of problem getting that one off because it had some kind of weird, it was like a weird like a, I don't know, like a grab washer, the ones you have on like kids training wheels to stop it coming off. It's like fingers that grab onto the threads, and I had to prise it off with a screwdriver to get that off. I have no idea why I had that on. It literally just stopped the whole thing coming off. It wasn't even part of like an anti-vibration thing. It was just, anyway. I didn't have another one, so it's not getting one back on. It's really easy to see, so if it does ever come loose, then I can put some thread lock on it, which should be fine. Okay, where are we now? This I found, which I have accidentally knocked off. I think, oh yeah, from there. Oh, maybe I didn't knock it off. Maybe I remember taking that off. Anyway, it's the switch for the glove box. So I've probably got a couple of wires here. Ignore these are dash cam, badly put in dash cam, and oh, and the LED things for the floor. But I should have a couple of wires here. There we are. Okay, so this is this one and another one. Okay, yeah, this is the ones for the switch. Okay, so I'll put those on the switch. And now I'm going to put in the BCU and the other stuff down there. And then I think I will have run out of bolts, apart from those ones, which I thought were part of this, but then I remembered them being gold. So, so I don't really know what goes down there, to be honest with you. No, I don't really remember what these are for. But I'll get there. There'll be something. Okay, so blower's working. How can I show you? Hey, look. That's what I was going to do. I was going to find a tissue. Yeah, it's really blowing, so that's good. It's cold at the moment, so not much I can do about that. Everything's back together. Okay, so I think we're getting close. I glued my LEDs back in. I found the place where everything goes, so that one, which I didn't know had the bubble on, that goes on the side. That's where I was trying to put these things, on that one. There's a little brown attachment, and that goes in. There's a hole on the metal bracket for the BCU, and that goes in there. My crappy wire installation for my LEDs is now, that's my skill level right there. Bad zip ties. This goes to the thingy camera, and you see, I told you, bad installations. Here. And you know what? I thought it was, it's so tidy. I thought it was professional, but I have a funny feeling that is, and I thought it went up to the stereo, but I see it going down there to where the CB radio used to be. So I don't think that is genuine. I think that's my rubbishy connection. So it's an antenna, I think. Cool. Tested the heater. Everything good. I'll put the glove box back on now. I think the brackets are probably what these are, but we'll see. And good. Okay, so back together. The foam was a little bit too big, but actually I just put it around the edge and it seems okay.